Hello and welcome back to the Growing Wild Studios YouTube channel. My name is Cindy and I'm the maker here on this channel. Today we are doing a good old crochet with me. It has been a long time since I've done a personal project for myself. I've been very focused on making stock for the markets I'm gonna attend, which at the time of recording is only 4 days away. And I just want to make more stock. But I'm making myself relax and work on something for myself so I don't get burnt out. So I originally thought that I was gonna make the scarf that came from Yarnforia, the pattern that was supposed to go with their exclusive colorway from the Philly Yarn Crawl, plus the additional one that they had to go with it. But when I was looking at the pattern, I decided that I didn't want to make it. I just don't need another triangle scarf. I have one that I've made that I don't get enough use out of already. And I just wanted the Yarnforia pattern to be a little bit more elongated and less triangular. So I decided I was going to make something else with it. I've been really into the Sophie scarf that I'm sure everyone has heard of by now. And I found a crochet version online on Ravelry that I want to give a try. It is, kind of like the Sophie scarf where you can wrap it around your neck and it's, a lot lighter for the summer months, but you can also kind of wrap it around your head as kind of a bandana, headband kind of accessory. And I've been experimenting with my own bandana this summer, so I wanted to give this pattern a try. That does mean I'm going to separate these two yarns, this yarn for the current project we're going to work on now, and this yarn for an ear warmer later in the year when it is much colder and I want to make warm fuzzy things. But I'm really excited to get started on this scarf pattern. So without further ado, I'm going to cake up the yarn and get started. Right. It is the next day. After work yesterday, I sat outside, did a little bit of work on the scarf while I listened to my audiobook. and I'm really happy with the progress I've made. Here is what it is looking like so far, just kind of the end of the tail so far. But I'm really happy with it. I was nervous that the increasing on just one side was going to look weird, but I actually think it looks cute. I think it makes it um I want to say classier, but that's not what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I just think the shape looks nicer than if it was like a triangle on both sides. So I'm super happy with it. The color is so good. I love that, there's like little bits of pooling throughout of the rainbow colors, but this kind of bluey gray is still like the main base. So I've been really happy with it. The color the colorway is called Rainbow over Euphoria, and the story behind it is really that the owner of the store walked in after a huge rainstorm the night before, and it was like a gray sky with a beautiful rainbow right on the street. So I just thought that, I love the color, but I love the story that goes behind it because I think it's so fitting. I think that's like exactly what it looks like, a rainbow in a little bit of a gray stormy sky. So I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. In terms of construction or how I'm going about reminding myself of the construction, there's a lot of just rows going back and forth, and I am tracking how many rows I've done by the stitch markers on the side, which is why there's so many on the side here. Each of these is 10 rows. And then this one on the other side marks it marks where my previous start of the repeat is. So every 4 rows, you're repeating the same rows, the same pattern. So once I do 4 rows after this marker, I know that I can start the repeat again. So that is how I'm tracking it. Once I get to the section where we're just going straight and not increasing, I am going to probably remove the stitch markers on the side, just because I don't want it to be all jingly jangly, and weigh it down too much. Also, I only have this amount of stitch markers, and this is going to take me, even just the increase section is going to take me to 100 rows, so I have a feeling I'm going to need some additional stitch markers to count just that section that I'm in. So, like I said, I'm having a good time with it. It seems to be working up nicely. And I'm enjoying the process, and I'm enjoying what it's coming out to look like. welcome back. I've been kind of busy since our last check-in, and I have completed all of the increasing on here, which is very exciting. So kind of show this to you a little bit better. Right where my fingers are, that's where the increasing stops and just like the straight back and forth rows begin. So I've made it through the first section of it, and I'm really, happy with it. I'm in a section where I'm really just going back and forth across the rows, no increases, no decreases. So I figured this would be a really great time to talk about the pattern a little bit more. Normally I try to do this at the front end of the video, but I don't work with a script. I just want everything to be a little bit more candid, a little bit more relaxed than, me writing out a script of everything that needs to be said. But because of that, sometimes I forget things, quite frankly. So I figured, while I'm just kind of meditatively going back and forth, we talk a little bit about the pattern. So I do want to give credit to this to the pattern. The name of it is the Grace Summer Scarf / Head Wrap, and it is by Lulo Stitch Company. I'll put their name and stuff up at the top here. I did get this pattern on Ravelry. Ravelry is something I don't want to say I'm new to Ravelry, but I find it helpful as like a pattern search tool. So when I knew that I wasn't going to make the Yarnforia pattern that went with this and the other yarn, I just hopped on Ravelry and really put in, the criteria of the weight of the yarn and kind of what I was thinking about making with it, and kind of just looked through those patterns that way. And that's mostly what I use Ravelry for. I use it as a pattern search tool. And like as a way, I sometimes save patterns there. Sometimes I just put them in Milanote, so I have them accessible to me for when I am ready to do things. But I feel there are a lot of people who really use it as like a project planning tool, who use it to keep a ton of notes, who, have all of their project notes in there. And that's just not what I use it for. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be used for that. It seems to be a great tool for that. But I don't know. I'm very much a pen and paper person. So when I need to make notes, or when I need to keep track of my stitch count, I have a little notepad that I just use as notes for that anyway. And I just keep it with the project. Um, I don't like usually keep track of it digitally. I keep track of, projects and future projects digitally. And like I said, I do it on Milanote. And I've done it on like Google Sheets in the past. But like in terms of like what's currently going on with a project, I like good old pen and paper. I'm also not someone who needs to keep track of those sorts of things over time. I am not usually a pattern repeater. I normally make a pattern once and then I want to try something different. Just because I like variety. There are definitely certain patterns that I have made or will make multiple times. Like, I mentioned in my first video, kind of the crochet, the amigurumi dinosaurs, and that I've made a couple of times. And obviously, a ribbed beanie pattern is a ribbed beanie pattern. So there are things that I've definitely done multiple times. But I don't feel the need, like with this scarf, I am going to make it in this colorway, and I'm probably not going to feel the need to make it again in a different one. Will I keep it as like a reference for if I do, find something of colorway that I want to use to make this again? Absolutely. But I am not someone that makes patterns twice. Like I made my mother-in-law a skull cardigan, and it was beautiful. And I thought it was beautiful. And it like definitely was something that I used to learn cables for crochet. but it's not something I think I'm gonna make again, just because I feel like I learned what I needed from it and I accomplished what I wanted with it. Um, but I just don't feel the need to make it again. Um, there's your Revelry side note. I am gonna leave you there in terms of the talking. And just do a little bit more work on this, and we'll just do a little bit more sitting and stitching together, all right? All right, we are at the end of the project. As you can see, I'm wearing the scarf. And I'm pretty happy with it for the most part. I did block it, which I'm not sure if it was the right decision. The way that the scarf is designed, it's supposed to be kind of stretchy a little bit. And even though when I blocked it, I wet blocked it, so I like fully submerged it in water. Even though when I put it on the board and put the pins in it, I did my best not to like fully, make it taut. I think it lost some of the bounciness. So, as you can see, you can still see some of it, but I'm not sure if that's coming, from the bounciness of the yarn or if it's coming from, how the crochet stitches worked out. Having said that, I'm still very happy with it. I'm still going to wear it. Obviously, I'm wearing it today. And I think I can style it in a lot of ways. So I have it very camp counselor style right now. I'm wearing, obviously, t-shirt and jeans. It's the dead of summer. I didn't want to go overboard with it. But I thought this was very cute. I'm very happy with it. And I also thought could be a couple of other ways to style it, even just like this is very nice. I have it folded over a little bit up top. Again, it's just hot. I don't have the air conditioning on in my house right now. But I thought it would also be cute to use some pins. I grabbed a ton from my grandmother's chest when I was out there to see my grandfather recently. I have a ton of pins that I'm basically looking for a way to style. And I thought this would be very cute. Obviously, this is very quick and not the best done, but something like this where it kind of holds it together. Anything that ideally, puts it together in total would be very cute, leaving it long again. And then, of course, there's the way it was kind of styled in the pattern, which really kind of wrapped it around the neck, boop, boop, doop, which I think is cute, but I think is, I don't know, a little less summery. It feels a little bit more fall. Which there is nothing wrong with, but this is very cute as well. You can even do an extra knot. Beautiful. I think this is cute. I would wear it more like this in the spring when maybe I just need a little bit of extra warmth going on. And like I mentioned at the beginning, I thought this was a good pattern because it could also maybe be used as a headband tie. So I've styled my hair a little bit like how I would want to wear it in an effort to make this process a little bit easier. So it looks kind of cute, like this. I would also think it would be very cute to totally put up your hair like in a bun. Let me show this. This is very cute, I think. Or even kind of like putting it around in the front, tying it in the back as a headband. Viewfinder would not be my first option for using a mirror styling the what I'm doing, but I think it's very cute. So yeah, something like this, hair more down. I have it kind of have up in the back just for now. But like I said, it has multiple styling options. I don't feel, tied into like with a rectangular shawl. You kind of feel like you have to wear it kind of like a shawl, or you have to use it as like a big scarf, which can sometimes feel bulky. But I just liked how this worked out. I liked that I had the multiple options, like I said. I liked that it felt like a very good use of a summery colorway. And overall, I'm very happy. We're very happy with how it turned out. All right, well, here I am again, styled back up into the camp counselor tie. Thank you guys so much for coming along on this project with me. Whether it provided a little bit of crochet inspiration or you just followed along while you worked on your own project, I'm always happy to have you along on the ride. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!